Hi, this is Gays Planet, where two boyfriends discuss the Korean survival show Boys Planet, and none of your faves are safe. I am Miles.
I'm Andy, along for the ride.
For 12 episodes of this show.
12 2.5 hour long episodes with a total of 12 performances.
Yeah.
If not fewer.
So, this is a podcast where we're just going to recap. We're going to be recapping each episode of the show Boys Planet. This is a Korean show. It's basically 100 boys, or almost 100 boys. Half of them Korean, half of them global, which means
From Asia.
basically Thailand, Japan, China, and then there's like an American and a Canadian. But Korean group and global group, and there's like 95 of these kiddos, except one of them's 30, and then they're gonna make eventually a boy band. We don't know the size, but this is essentially like the 6th season, if you count the produce Korean show, that's made a group this way. It's an insane way to make a group.
And would you say they're usually successful?
Oh, they're hugely successful, all of them. To the point where the last girl group that was made on the show on Girls Planet, people are saying is a flop, and they've already sold over 1 million physical albums, which no one in America is doing that, but because they haven't been as huge as like the other groups from the show, so they're always a success. But it's a weird way to make a group, because that just means that there's like 85 people that aren't gonna get in, who are like, a lot of them are super talented. Justice for Fu Yanning.
Debut the babies.
Debut the baby monsters. But this is episode 0. The show hasn't come out yet. We wanted to do an episode 0, partially to make sure this thing can get on Spotify, and partially to ground you listeners in who we are, why you should care about our gay-ass opinions. So I want to talk about when we debuted with K-pop, which I think is exciting because we have very different entry points. I debuted with K-pop when I was finishing college, so 2010, I like to say. It was like the beginning of 2010. I came in, I'd heard about Super Junior. I'd even heard about BoA in high school. And I knew nobody by Wonder Girls, but I feel like 2010 was really when I was like, oh, Girls' Generation, Kara, Wonder Girls, Big Bang, SHINee, 2PM. I started to dabble more in that. I was really into British pop music, but I was looking for something
fresh.
I don't want to get into the Kesha of it all, but like I needed to like emigrate musically to something that was still doing like pop. So that's when I came into K-pop, true like second gen stan. I still think that's like where all my loyalties are, but I do like a lot of the new stuff, but that's where I came in. So Andy, I'm going to ask you the same question. When did you debut with K-pop, and who did you come in with?
I would say in 2020, a friend of mine showed me Wannabe by ITZY. I didn't really love the song at the time, but I thought the dancing was very cool. And so I would watch the video just for the dancing. And then I kind of like liked the song a little more. And then, yeah, I think we went on a date and that song played, or a KDA song played that my friend also had showed me. And then you just had asked me if I liked K-pop, and I was like, I don't know. Oh, I mean, I listened to Sour Candy.
So you would say that Blackpink were in your area?
Yeah, I mean, I skipped over the Lady Gaga parts. I watched a YouTube video where it was just Blackpink singing.
You skipped at the part where she's like, oh.
Yeah, and when she, like, speak raps. And I'm like, couldn't we just, like, have the better Korean girls do this?
Rap.
I just was like, why is Lady Gaga singing on this song?
And
I still feel that way.
She should give up a song on her album and it's just Blackpink and she's not on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I just like bubblegum pop that's not too hard, and K-pop is just delivering lots of that. Whereas America's gotten sleepy.
America's like, let's smoke weed in the car over a trap beat.
I'm just like, where is the fun music? Miles and I go to parties and people are still listening to songs that came out in like 2012.
Honestly,
as if they just came out.
Yeah. People are like, gays are like holding on to like Rita Ora songs from 7 years ago. And we're like, there is a treasure trove. Not even across the sea, because it's literally on Spotify and YouTube. It's like at your fingertips. Okay, for the uninitiated, Marika, a Korean survival show, it's a little bit like We Have an American Idol or like X Factor or something, but this is essentially a show...
Except they evil edit it, and it's amazing.
Yeah, except the editing is
They make the girls cry for our entertainment, and I love it.
Yeah. And we're entertained. So a survival show is just like, they're basically, the end game is always making a K-pop group, and they just start with way too many people, and
Then they cut the Japanese out.
Well, no, it's not always like there's pure Korean survival shows without like, but a survival show, every challenge is a group challenge. Like everything is like we're making a group. Maybe there's 9 people have to make a group and they don't know each other. Maybe it's 4. Maybe it's 6, and then they do a few rounds of challenges. But those few rounds take like 12 episodes because
they will milk these.
They will milk
for everything it's worth.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Yeah, they'll film something from 3 angles and show you all 3 angles, and they'll rewind the tapes, and I like that editing actually because they're like, here's the high note 4 times, and I'm like, thank you. But basically, the goal of a survival show is to make a group, and we watched a few of these now. So Andy, which have you watched?
I watched Girls Planet 999, and that's it.
You watched Queendom 2.
Oh, Queendom 2.
That counts, I think.
A little bit. Neezy Project was very wholesome. And Neezy Project was about growing these girls and bringing out the best in them. And Girls Planet 999 was like, you should come here already as fit as possible. Mm-hmm. And this is survival of the fittest. Mm-hmm. So I thought they were like quite different.
Yeah. Neezy Project is a show where a record label, and it's much smaller. Like it's very quickly narrows to like 12, 13 girls, and they're making a 9-member group. So it's about fostering like a lot of untrained talent, and can we get them ready to debut? Yeah, where these shows are like, here's 95 girls or boys, which is way too many, and you better be fucking talented or else you're out. Or if you're pretty and untalented, you might make the group, because that does happen too. Frequently, yeah.
Or if you're tall.
Yeah, if you're like what?
If you're tall, you'll probably get in
They're always like, I'm giant to baby. And like, there's always somebody calling themselves Giant Baby. So I watched the same. I watched Girls Planet. I watched Produce 48, which is another one in this kind of same series. I watched Neezy Project. I watched this show called The Unit, which was for like people that had kind of their careers had failed and this is their last chance, but then the group that they made also failed. So like, LOL, like what? Because no one watched that show. And I watched Queendom Season 1 and Queendom Season 2.
So do you have a favorite moment from a survival show?
I think the thing that I really come back to is, and maybe I'm hoping we'll see this, what's also attractive about a show like Boys Planet or Girls Planet, it's a clash of cultures. It's a Korean show that's hosting Chinese people, Japanese people, and now Thai people. And the show Produce 48 was similar, where it was half Koreans, half Japanese people. And one of the main reasons I watched that was I was like, how are they going to communicate with each other? Which the show never really shows you, and they don't give them translators. And that's also my favorite part, is watching them like struggle to and use English and Korean together, but they're Chinese, and it's like
they're just saying nouns and verbs are implied.
They'll be like, you pretty, like I leader, which I like love. But in Produce 48. There was a challenge where 2 groups had to cover the same song, and they got to do it however they wanted. And it was a Japanese song. And the one group was like, it's a Japanese song. We have Japanese girls. They're going to be the main like singers in this. And we're going to put the Japanese girls first because it's a Japanese song. And the other group was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to reinvent this. Like, let's show them what's the K-pop version of this Japanese song. How do we put it through the lens of K-pop? And I was like, wait, this is so cool. So it was just little touches like that where, what was the song called?
I was going to say, what's the song for our listeners?
Oh, it's called High Tension, and it's by AKB48. And it has a really good music video. Like, the Japanese song has a great, expensive video. But it's called High Tension. So they were like, we want a Korean girl to be the main singer, and now that's Yoonjin of LE SSERAFIM.
Oh.
Yeah.
We need to watch this after.
We've watched it before, but I will.
I know, but now that I know who that is.
And Daeyeon from Kepler is in the other group that loses.
I remember you showing me that.
But they just take it into a really Korean place where there's like some rapping in it, but then the Korean girl learns the Japanese and she spits it. It's not cute. She's like doing the K-pop style rap. They do like lots of finger hearts and like finger heart guns and like very K-pop things, and that's just so cool to me to see, like, how are you translating something and making it new? And I think that can happen when you're bringing different kinds of people together. I guess that's what I enjoy about survival shows. I like that, and I like the live singing.
Oh, yeah.
People actually singing live, which is getting more and more rare in K-pop, so that's something I like loved, warts and all. But Andy, what do you like about these survival shows?
I like seeing the Sausage Factory I like seeing them figure out what roles they're going to do and seeing some girls that you think are talented get put into a vocal 7 and she gets one line and it's saying, ah!
Yeah, because you guys, they'll be like main vocal 1, main vocal 2, main vocal 3, and once you get to 7...
You have the camera on you for like a quarter second and it's like, those girls are in tears. I don't love that they're crying, but I'm like, I like that you're seeing what producers are probably doing to these girls if they actually made it into the group and are like, try out for these roles.
Yeah.
And if you're not good, you're not going to get many lines.
Yeah.
So I like seeing that. I like seeing them in their practice rooms doing ab crunches and running around in circles because it looks insane. And yeah, and I just like seeing how it's made because they're just doing it in like oversized t-shirts and bad workout wear.
Yeah, they're always wearing huge t-shirts.
Because they probably just order like mediums for all the girls. And then like
and
they
they're
fit
like,
some
I'm
girls.
85 pounds and what?
Yeah. So I think what you see on like K-pop videos, and I prefer K-pop shows where they're what are they called?
Andy likes watching the like
live
M
stages.
Countdown and Inkigayo, like the live stages from television.
Yeah, because I think that's just like more skillful and less distracting. So I like seeing them doing it, and it's just not as good because it makes it more realistic, and then you appreciate it more because you're like seeing bad versions of it, and then you're seeing great versions of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially with shows like this, and I even like this on RuPaul's Drag Race, but they do this more on these produced shows and Girls Planet, Boys Planet, is like 2 groups will do the same song. And I just love comparing and being like, oh, what did this group do better? How did this group rise? Or sometimes they're both amazing. Yeah, I love just seeing like how they both go at it.
Yeah, and I think the singing live part that Miles brought up becomes very apparent when you're seeing people get out of breath at the end of songs and not able to sing, which we have seen on Girls Planet 999 in How You Like That Yellow Team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, God.
And they just, like, mess up and you see it, and I just don't think...
Well, you see it 3 times from 3 different angles.
Yeah. And, I mean, you just don't see that very often. So it's cool.
What, Andy, I want to ask you, and then I'll talk about me, but what is your experience with boys and boys groups, since we will be watching Boys Planet?
Novice.
Calling?
Oh, yeah. I just don't think the gays are that into boys singing, so I'm gonna have to get over that hill. Yeah, I mean, I could make a playlist of 100 K-pop songs, and 100 of them would be girls singing. Yeah. It doesn't even occur to me.
It is a phenomenon, I think. Never really with me, but like with a lot of gays.
Why so special? So
well, I've always listened to... Okay, I just have to speak from my own perspective. I've always listened to boys, and I mean, my first group I loved was S Club 7, which is 4 girls and 3 boys. That was a mixed gender deal. Like, I've always loved male singers and female singers, like the whole gamut. There is a group, a subsect of the gay world that only listens to women sing and then has no female friends. What? But I've listened to boy bands. It's interesting. I mean, I'm curious about Boys Planet too, because I loved like 2nd generation boys and even 3rd generation. So I loved I love Shiny. I forget how much I like them, but then when I go back and I'm like, the music is so fucking good. Like Shiny, I like some Big Bang stuff. 2PM, I've seen 17 in concert. I've seen Super M in concert. Card, which is a mixed group. I like Golden Child, sometimes SF9. But I feel like so many groups now are just like noise music, and they're all trying to be NCT, and I don't like NCT. And there's just so little melody or like just pop, which is why I went to K-pop in the first place. Yeah, where's the music? So I'm hoping that there's like a hole in the market, and that Boys Planet is like, we are gonna be the like pop boys. Like, we're actually gonna have music.
Yes, please.
And I think the little clips we've seen, it seems like a lot of the guys can sing. Like, going through their little like 1 minute, they do like 1 minute PR videos. And then at the end of the minute, a door, like a wall closes in front of them. It's so amazing. It's all on YouTube. But a lot of them, it seems like they can sing. And I went back, I was watching Girls Planet auditions the other day, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot how bad most of the girls on Girls Planet were at singing. Like, just flat.
Yeah, they didn't have good tune.
No, like, just out of tune. And then people on YouTube being like, you guys, she was so stable. Like, she wasn't that bad. She's stable.
Stable's code for being able to hold the note even if it's not right. is what it
Yeah,
sounds like
I'm
to
just
me.
like dancing and singing at the same time, but you're like so flat. I don't know. I feel like I'm excited because it seems like there's a lot more singers, which I think will probably make it harder to choose favorites because I usually go for singers.
I'm looking forward to it because I liked the boy songs that they do on Girls Planet 999.
Okay.
So I got a foot in the door.
Yeah. I hope they do girl songs on this show.
I know.
They will. They will.
You
They
think
will.
so?
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
Okay.
I bet they'll do.
I gotta do something.
Something. Okay, final question. There was an original song on Girls Planet. There's a round of the show where they do new songs instead of cover songs. What does You Plus Me Equals Love mean to you?
I mean, it was just gobsmacking. I loved it. I listened to it 100,000 times last year.
Equals love. It's love plus me. You plus me. Yeah, love plus me. You plus me.
Was it Love at First Sight or I feel like it grew on you?
Well, I remember we watched it
We watched
together,
it in New Orleans.
and we were more like in love with Shoot,
I still
which
love
they
Shoot.
also did, which I still love Shoot, but it's a wackadoodle song. But then I don't know what You Plus Me got to me, and even now when I listen to it, I get like little chills when anything happens. Every verse starts.
It's a really good girl group song, and Kepler was... It's sad that they didn't do it on Queendom 2.
Or have not covered it.
Or haven't done it. The Kepler should have just had that on their first album. Like, I don't know why they're not mining, like, Snake and Shoot and You Plus Me and not Utopia, but those 3 songs, I feel like they should just be like, yeah, those are our songs.
And even when they did it on the show, the judges were like, wait, you guys look like a full girl group.
Yeah.
Like, you could be debuting
Yeah.
today.
That's why I'm always like, debut them now. Like, they're fine. That's it.
Debut all 99.
OT 99.
So, Miles, let's dig deep. What does Shoot mean to you?
Oh my god. Okay, Shoot.
Can you give us a little ditty?
I might cut it in. What do I do? I'm sick. Shoot, shoot. Shoot was like basically, and this is something I'm curious about Boys Planet, but Girls Planet, the girls were kind of like, a lot of the girls were tracked. I think of them as like down a track. Like you could go through the whole show of Girls Planet and just be siloed and just do cute songs. So like all the girls that had just been doing cute stuff did the cutest song of the show, Shoot, which sounds very retro, 80s, silly, bouncy. It makes no sense. They're talking about being sick. I think there's a line about a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's about being sick and you're seeing your crush.
Yeah.
And what should you do? Shoot. You saw him.
Yeah. It makes like barely any sense, but
There's 3 choruses.
it's so fun. There's like so many key changes. It's like, that's the best thing of K-pop is like, this isn't like, honestly like a dumb little song, but then also there's so much music. Like there's like key changes and a million instrumentals, like because I think Koreans like really know, and the Swedes that they're buying songs from like really know complex music, where I think in America we like to keep things simpler these days. Okay, well that was a little taste of us, of this episode 0. Next week I imagine we'll just be watching The Boys Walk In for 2 hours. I'm guessing it's the first episode.
We might be fast forwarding.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Or we're going to be just like drinking beer and
I think we're
not
gonna be
remember the last
drinking.
3 that come in. So
Yeah, next week we'll talk about that. We do have preliminary picks, which we're going to talk about next week, that we just did from watching the like fan cams and like honestly just looking at their faces.
yeah, just looking at their washed out promo pics.
Yeah. So we'll share with those with y'all next week. But until then, buckle in for the ride. Thank you so much for listening to our 7 listeners, 7 love minutes, and we'll see you next time.
And fighting.
Fighting!